YouTube, what's going on, man? About to do this reaction video. As y'all might not know, this is the guy. I forgot what sneaker place it's called, but we about to watch the video. So it said after 5 years, Nike finally caught him. We gonna see what the hell's going on. So, hey man, I'm about to start posting like actual videos on this channel. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have the reaction video posted on my main channel, which is this channel right here, and the B-Law Reacts channel, which is this channel right here. So whenever I post a regular video on my channel, that's when I will stop doing reaction videos on this channel and switch it over to the B-Law Reacts, just so, because my main channel is all scattered just over random stuff, like random categories, you know what I'm saying, like vlogs, then it's reaction videos, you know what I'm saying. So it's your boy Sheila's B-Law, man. Let's get it, let's go. Roll to 4K. We already hit 1,000 already. Now we just need the 4,000 watch hours. I'm halfway. I still been bullshitting, but now I'm about to pick it up because I got a bunch of ideas in my head. So let's get it, let go. Ooh!
For almost a year, something strange was happening inside the sneaker world. Federal agents were showing up everywhere.
12 people face federal charges now, accused of stealing more than $2 million in Nike products from the company's North American Logistics Center right here in Memphis.
Federal prosecutors say this went on for at least 4 years, totaling nearly $2 million.
Was the other co-owner of Coolkicks that was taken into custody by LAPD,
including 40-year-old.
Let's get this shit fixed real quick, chat. Is this the one? Oh shit, hold on. I'm confused, chat. Hold on. Okay. Damn, why is it like this? Oh, I'm tripping. Hold on. Oh yeah, okay, hold on, chat. I'm tripping. Damn, I'm tripping. I don't know why I did that. Hold on, YouTube. Y'all can fast forward this part for real. Damn, hold on, man. We almost done. My bad, y'all. Trying to get this mud on board. Okay. My bad, YouTube. Alright, bet.
Keith Cannon, who owned Valid Kicks.
Project Blitz, Coolkicks, warehouses filled with thousands of sneakers, search warrants, evidence boxes, and phones being held outside storefronts trying to figure out what was happening. But nobody seemed to know the answer. There were plenty of rumors about counterfeit sneakers, money laundering, tax fraud, stuff like that. But law enforcement and the government stayed completely silent.
Okay, it's still okay. One more time. I gotta get the fucking what's the name fixed now. Hold on. Shit, it's not doing it. Fuck, what's going on? My bad. Shit. This is my first time using the OBS. I'm trying to get the vertical shit too, right? Y'all. Alright. Now,
no interviews, no detailed press conferences, just a series of raids that at the time seemed to be a little bit unrelated. That's how it looked from the outside looking in. While the sneaker community was trying to guess what happened, federal investigators were allegedly putting together a case that had been going for years. And according to a federal indictment that just got released this month, I think we have answers to everything you need to know. The story didn't begin with Coolkicks or Project Blitz or even California. It all began in a warehouse that was nearly 2,000 miles away. Nike's North American Logistics Center that was located in Memphis, Tennessee. Every single day, this building moves thousands of Nike products across the United States. If you've ever bought a pair of Jordans or Nike Dunks or anything of that nature, there's a good chance that it goes through this warehouse first. This is essentially the beating heart of Nike's entire supply chain. Products arrive in this warehouse from around the world. They get sorted, packed, labeled, loaded into trucks, and then shipped to retailers across the country, like Foot Locker or Champs or wherever you buy your shoes from. And on paper, it's one of the most efficient logistics systems in the entire world. Every package has a barcode, every carton has a destination, and every movement is seemingly tracked. And every shipment has one small detail that tells the entire system where to go, and that's a shipping label. And according to federal prosecutors, that tiny piece of paper would allegedly become the key to one of the biggest sneaker theft conspiracies in recent history. And the more investigators looked into this case, the more they realized that it wasn't just a traditional cargo theft. Nobody was cutting locks or hijacking the trucks or breaking into the warehouse in the middle of the night. The operation allegedly relied on something a lot more simple, and that was the shipping process itself. Imagine you go online and order a pair of Jordans from Nike or the website. The order gets processed, Nike packs the shipment, and a shipping label is printed. And that label tells UPS exactly where the package belongs, as long as the label is correct. Now imagine somebody quietly replaces that label before the package ever leaves the building. The box is still scanned, and it still gets loaded into the truck, and UPS delivers it. But the only difference is the destination. And according to the indictment, this is what investigators believe exactly happened. So whenever there's a hype Jordan release, like let's just say, for example, the Jordan 4 Brick by Bricks, somebody in the warehouse would locate what boxes were filled with these sneakers that were going to be shipped out to Foot Locker or Champs or wherever. And when loading these up onto the UPS trucks to be shipped out to these stores, somebody would slap a label over the top of the one that was already on there. And this new UPS label would then ship it to a different location that wasn't the intended store. And this was addresses that investigators say had already been chosen by members of this conspiracy. And from that point on, the package would follow the new label. But changing the label was only half the job. And that's because a shipping label sitting on somebody's desk in Los Angeles can't move a single package inside the warehouse in Memphis. So somebody had to sneak those labels inside. And according to federal prosecutors, this is where it became an inside job at the Nike warehouse. And court documents allege that one of these organizers was Roy Harvey Jr. And he is seen to be one of the masterminds behind this whole operation. And like a year ago when Project Blitz got raided, it was because of Roy Harvey Jr. He had been seen delivering or using some of these packages around the Project Blitz warehouse, and that's what got him raided. But according to this indictment, investigators allege that he created these shipping labels and arranged the delivery locations and coordinated where those redirected shipments would ultimately end up. Because Harvey wasn't a Nike employee and he couldn't just walk into the warehouse. According to the prosecutors, somebody else on the inside was handling how the labels got on the packages. And the indictment identifies a man named Michael Perkins. He was a floor manager inside Nike's Memphis Logistics Center. And Perkins allegedly would smuggle these shipping labels inside of the Nike warehouse where he would give them to other Nike employees. And prosecutors allege that these employees would place the labels onto specific cartons before they entered Nike's normal shipping process. And like I previously said, nothing on these packages looked abnormal. The packages continued out of the warehouse just like they would on any other day. And that's what made this operation so hard to detect. And this wasn't something that happened just once or twice. Courts allege that between 2022 and 2024, 1,860 fraudulent shipping labels tied to Roy Harvey Jr. was operated successfully through this whole process. And just to mention, this isn't 1,800 pairs, this is 1,860 boxes that are filled with multiple pairs. Whenever a shoe comes out, sometimes a sneaker reseller will have an entire full-size run. They'll have hundreds or 200, 300 pairs of a shoe that's like just came out. Or also in the sneaker world, there's like early pairs. You'll see people have multiple pairs of shoes before they come out, like months before they come out. But what happened after the shoes left Memphis was almost a little more surprising. And investigators didn't follow the shipping labels, they followed the shoes. And that's...
Hey, y'all comment down below if y'all, like, are y'all a sneakerhead? I feel like I'm not a sneakerhead, but I do love shoes. I used to love the shit out of Jordans, bro, but everybody just keep on wearing them, so I wouldn't even want to deal with any, you know what I'm saying? Deal with any Jordans like that no more, bro. Not even Dunks, bro. It's just damn near who gives a fuck at this point? You know what I'm saying? The brick by brick fours though. are hard as fuck though. I'll buy them.
That's where this story takes kind of an unexpected turn. And you have to remember, all of this is happening in private. This was before they decided to raid anybody or make any sort of like public thing about this. So by this point, investigators believed that they understood how the shoes were leaving the warehouse. But that only answered half of the mystery, because stolen inventory doesn't just disappear. Somebody has to receive it, somebody has to pay for it, and eventually somebody has to sell it. So investigators started following these sneakers and shipments. Now, according to these court documents and stuff, it doesn't really say how they were able to identify this. Some people say that they put trackers like inside the shoes or inside the boxes. Some people said that they like went over their inventory lists, or I don't know how they did it. I wish I had this answer because that'd probably make this video a little bit more interesting, but I don't know how they tracked down these shoes from the Memphis warehouse to what I'm about to say. So instead of these boxes of sneakers showing up at retailers like Champs, Foot Locker, maybe a Nike store, these boxes of hundreds of pairs of Jordans would go into an undisclosed location, and they would essentially just be dropped off by UPS. So after these shoes were being unpacked, they were being sold at sneaker conventions, sneaker stores, and other sneaker websites. And some of these pairs were just placed into a warehouse or the backs of stores to be sold eventually. And like I said previously, if you have some of these shoes that don't release for 4 months and you have like 100 or 200 pairs, that looks really suspicious. So in some cases, they would just keep these shoes until like a week or two after they released and they were hot and everybody wanted them, and then they'd begin like flipping them. So I'm assuming that's where some of these shoes would end up in like warehouses and stuff. But investigators started looking into resale businesses. And the further they followed these shipments, the more these certain names kept popping up. One of them being Chicago Emporium, which is a large Chicago resale business. Another one being Whorehead Investments. And then there was one name that stood out above all the others, and that name was Coolkicks. And if you've been around sneaker culture for like the past decade, you know who Coolkicks is. Coolkicks wasn't a small reseller operating out of like a storage unit. It was one of the biggest sneaker stores in America. NBA players, rappers, celebrities, all these people bought shoes from there in Los Angeles. And their videos reached millions of people on the daily. And for a lot of sneakerheads, Coolkicks represented the top of the resale world. They were definitely one of the most popular sneaker resale stores and YouTube channels in this entire business. So a lot of people think that it's just a deal that owns it, the guy that's mainly on the face of the channel. But there's another man named Barakat Abraham, and he also goes by BK. But in these legal documents, he is accused of playing a role in the early stages of this conspiracy. The prosecutors allege that between July 2021 and May 2022, Roy Harvey, which is the mastermind of this, he received 149 shipping labels that were associated with the Coolkicks store. And that allegation matters because those labels were allegedly used before Harvey began creating labels through his own company, which was RHJ Global, which in other words, prosecutors believe that this whole scheme was evolving over time. It didn't begin as like this huge, massive like operation. It started with just like a few people. And when the money entered the picture, things get more serious. But according to the indictment, between April and November 2023, Coolkicks allegedly sent approximately $127,000 to a man named Keith Cannon, who was also mentioned in these documents for this whole scheme. On top of that, they had allegedly sent another $88,275 to Roy Harvey Jr., who was the mastermind. But before we jump to conclusions, those numbers don't prove any guilt. Some people say that Coolkicks was just buying shoes from this person and they didn't know that they were stolen from Nike. And I'll leave it up to you guys and your own research to figure that out. But when reading the legal documents, there was some more evidence that kind of stood out. In September 2022, Roy Harvey allegedly asked the co-owner of Coolkicks to create fake invoices. And the prosecutors alleged that these invoices would make it appear that these shipments were legitimate. And this would allow these packages that may have gotten held up in UPS to then be released. So on the off chance, if these sneakers are being transported from the Nike facility to these undisclosed locations, if or when these packages got held up, you would have to provide something that says that you bought these shoes before they would be released. And that's where these fake invoices would come about. Basically saying like, hey, I paid Roy Lee, this guy, X amount of money, like he's delivering these shoes to me because I bought them. But in reality, they were all coming from the Nike warehouse illegally and stolen. But this is just a conspiracy. This is not proven fact. I'm just simply telling the story how it is. Also, according to the indictment, Chicago Emporium was allegedly purchasing large quantities of shoes connected to this operation as well. Federal prosecutors allege that Joel DeLuna, I think is the owner of Chicago Emporium, he negotiated with Harvey to receive unreleased Nike products. Meanwhile, another Los Angeles retailer, Whorehead Investments, he allegedly also sent nearly $700,000 in wire transfers connecting to this government's investigation. So everybody that I just named were resellers that were allegedly sending money to Roy Harvey to get these shoes so that they could flip them themselves or sell them in their store. And piece by piece, shipment by shipment, and payment by payment, what first looked like a warehouse theft was beginning to look like something that was much, much larger. The prosecutors believed that they had just uncovered an alleged distribution network stretching from the floors of Nike's warehouse in Memphis all the way to some of the biggest sneaker resale businesses in the world. But if these investigators spent years following these shipments and following the labels and following the money, what finally caused this whole operation to fall apart? Well, for years, according to the federal investigations, the operation kept working. Shipments continued to leave Memphis, labels continued to change destinations, and businesses continued buying inventory. And remember, all of this was done in secrecy. They were spending a while trying to figure this out and piece this together before they began just raiding and arresting everybody. But from the outside, nothing looked different. Nike was still shipping shoes, UPS was still delivering them, and the resale market was still growing. And when it comes to a resale store, when customers walk in and buy a pair of shoes, they don't know where they came from before the store. Like I said, these are resale stores. They buy them from people and resell them because they're hype shoes. So the customer has no idea of knowing where these were previously before the resale store. And investigators were quietly piecing together things that didn't seem related at first. A shipping label here, a payment there, phone records, wire transfers, delivery addresses. On their own, none of those told the full story. But together, the prosecutors were able to form like a pattern. And then one moment changed everything. In January of 2024, Roy Harvey was arrested in Los Angeles. And this was when the popular sneaker resale warehouse and platform Project Blitz got raided. And for those who don't know, Project Blitz, they're huge. They have a YouTube channel and they've even been on like Pawn Stars. They make videos pretty much showing off some of the rarest sneakers that you can possibly buy in the world. But supposedly, after they gathered this evidence, they arrested him with 28 cartons of stolen Nike products that were connected to this whole conspiracy. And that is why Project Blitz got raided, because somehow, some way, he was delivering shoes to Project Blitz. But the Project Blitz story is an entire video on its own and all the controversy that comes with that. But this was one of the first moments that investigators could say that they could physically connect redirected shipments to somebody in this operation. And that was Roy Harvey. But this arrest didn't stop the investigation. They went through Harvey's phone, his financial records, and they found connections that led to new leads. Investigators weren't just looking backwards anymore, they were starting to connect the pieces on this whole map. After the mastermind of this whole thing got put away in jail, now the business is still going. That means somebody's still doing this and people are still buying this from Nike. And that's when they realized this whole operation wasn't just centered around one person, it was an entire team. And it was 12 people to be exact. And so the investigators, they kept going. They kept reviewing financial records, they kept interviewing witnesses, and the case kept expanding. And this was when everybody started to get raided.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the prime example why that you can't do dirt. It's gonna always come out the light eventually, bro. This shit's like, I'm telling you, it's gonna come out eventually. I don't know why people would do this shit.
Like I said before, the Project Blitz store got raided, and then the Coolkicks store also got raided while on live stream. This became like a huge viral moment. Like, they were selling shoes on a live, the police busted in, and then there's all these clips of them getting arrested. Everybody thought this was because they were selling counterfeit shoes, and that's not at all the case. As well as there was clips online that showed a house that got raided that was completely full from like top to bottom with Nike shoes. And on top of all this, the Chicago warehouse that was Chicago Emporium also got raided. raided. When all of this was happening, nobody really knew why. Like I said, everybody speculated counterfeit shoes, and everybody was slandering Coolkicks, saying they sold like fake shoes, and that's not true. As well as Project Blitz, they got bashed everywhere for this, but in reality, they probably just bought a few pairs of shoes that were stolen that they didn't know about. But regardless, all these business reputations got cooked. But in July of this year, a federal grand jury returned a sweeping indictment charging 12 people with offenses including conspiracy, interstate transportation of stolen property, and wire fraud. And of these 12 names that were in this were Roy Harvey Jr., BK from Coolkicks, the Chicago Emporium guy, Perkins. You guys can look at the list yourself. But for the sneaker community, this was the first time that these allegations were made public. And suddenly, all those raids, all those rumors, and all those unanswered questions, they finally had context just this month. But this story isn't just about Coolkicks or one warehouse. It's about something much bigger. It's about how an industry built on hype and scarcity created one of the most perfect environments for an operation like this to exist for years. But like I said, everything in this video is just alleged, and everybody in this case is innocent until proven guilty. I'm simply just stating what was in these documents. I'll pop it up on the screen right here. Coolkicks actually made a statement about this and their co-owner and what's going on with them. I'll let you guys read that on your own. But in my opinion, the most surprising part about all this isn't the whole
No.
scheme. It's about what happened.
Why are you lagging? Why are you lagging? Hold on, chat. I don't know why this. I don't know why I'm saying chat like it's people in this motherfucker. Hold on, man. Hold on, what y'all doing? Hold on, what y'all doing? Oh, brother. I hate when they do this shit, y'all. I hate when they do this shit. I hate when they do this lame ass buffoonery ass shit, man. Hold on, man. Why does I always do this lame shit? I don't know why I do this lame shit, man.
To the sneakers. You see, these $2 million worth of shoes, thousands of pairs that were stolen, where did they go? Well, the answer is they went into the resale market. These are authentic Nike shoes, and they were sold to customers that had no idea where they came from. You see, like a stolen car, for example. A car has like a VIN number on it, and so if you get caught with the car, you get arrested, it's whatever. With sneakers, there is almost no way to identify the history or where the shoes came from, other than just like a receipt or a word of mouth type of thing. But platforms like StockX, Go, eBay, and certain resale stores were all selling shoes that were stolen from Nike and they didn't know it. As well as all the stores that were not involved in this scheme that bought the shoes just because they wanted to flip them. Like, for example, if I had 30 pairs of these shoes that were stolen from Nike and I sold them to somebody else and they sold them to somebody else, and like, you get what I'm saying? It's hard to track all these down. So there was plenty of people in this whole scheme that were selling shoes that were stolen that they didn't even know it. And that's what makes this case so much different. It wasn't counterfeit fake shoes, it was real authentic Nike products that were just being circulated everywhere in the United States. And the sneaker community spent months trying to figure out why all these people got raided, and it seems like now we finally have some answers. And that's for you to decide. Once again, I'm just telling the story, I'm not taking sides with anybody. But the answer to this entire mystery was sitting on the box the entire time from the very beginning, and it was just a shipping label. And also one of the most elaborate schemes I think I've ever heard in sneaker history. And that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one took a lot of research and a lot of putting this stuff together. To be honest with you, I've been putting this video together for I would say
that's cool. He ain't talking about nothing else. Hope you guys liked that video, man. I know it was somewhat a little boring. It's like he said a lot, but I don't know. It's just crazy how you never know about these shoes and Coolkicks and stuff, bro. I mean, that's why I'm not really into shoes like that no more. But it's just crazy how people just steal shoes for the bread. I mean, it's shoes, my nigga. Who knows, bro? But hope you guys liked that video. You know we got more on the way, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all follow my main page right here. Make sure y'all always And also follow B-Law Reacts, man. It's your boy Sheila's B-Law. Let get it, let get it, let get it, let go. Ew.